Hey, it's your girl MJ, and welcome to the Booty Call to Pride channel. I am your girl Michelle Tillman, and today's episode is all about Married at First Sight, season 12, episode number 5. Fun fact, in case you didn't know, I worked on tons of several different reality shows. Over my tenure, I was a broadcast journalism major in college. So I've done a lot of things with different reality shows. So that's why I thought it would be a fun thing for me to review this show. Okay, once again, y'all, I cannot skip and save the goodness for the middle of the video to try to make you watch longer. I was watching tonight and ready to give y'all this review. I was like, hold up. Wait a minute, what is going on? Okay, so Paige and Chris, of course, I'm looking down because I have notes. There was so much going on. So they start off the episode with a clip of Chris being coached by one of the producers, like, you gotta tell her. He was like, I don't want to tell her. I ain't gonna never tell her. And they were like, why you scared? He was like, no, I ain't scared. Then like, so then why you don't want to tell her? So first of all, my first thought is him and that producer seem real like cool. Like, I know that they spent a lot of hours working with the producers and all that, but they seemed really buddy cool. Like, he seemed relaxed telling her information that he would not tell his own wife, even though he don't really know her either. But I just thought that was weird. And everybody keeps wondering, how did he get picked to get on the show? I was just saying, I noticed that. So then they're getting ready to eat. And she asked him, Paige, so you're not going to say grace, in her soft, smooth voice. And he said something like, bless his food, amen. And then she's like, well, as long as God knows the desires of our heart. Okay, can I just put an insert and pause? Paige, for every woman who is an actual believer, Christian woman of God, as I am myself, you are really bothering me with inserting biblical references in places where I don't feel like they apply. Like, the word of God should not be used for manipulation. So I'm gonna just put that out there. But he also told her that he found out some devastating information, and so he was like, I don't want to say what it was. So they kept going back and forth. He kept saying he don't want to tell her. She's like, look, we're married. And she said, he said he was just gonna have to deal with it. And she said, well, it's not about you, it's about her at this point. And if he has information that's devastating and he doesn't want to share, then that's going to be an issue. And she said it's problematic for her, and you don't keep secrets from your partner, from your wife, that will affect your marriage. So then Paige, who lost all her sageness for this episode a few times, she goes up to the producer and is like, somebody needs to tell me what the F is going on. I was like, oh, you threw your Bible out for this episode, girl. Okay, I get it, because I probably would too. That's a lot to handle. She was like, somebody need to tell me what the F is going on. She mad. She taking her mic off, about to, go off. I'm like, go off, girl, go off. So then they're like, I can't tell you. The girl, whoever the girl was like, I can't tell you. So then Paige, she eventually confronts Chris and is like, now why can you tell all these people this devastating news, but you can't tell me? And I am like, okay, sis, I totally agree. You comfortable telling all these people on the production staff who he doesn't know all this information, but can't tell her, the main person who it affects. So he goes in the shower, total baby move. And if I was a cusser, I would call it a total B move. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. He goes in the shower like such a punk move and like turns the water. They go in the bathroom, turn the water on, and he's telling her, take off your mic. And then like he tells her the information that we all knew was coming because they previewed it to us in the episode. And he tells her that his ex is expecting. His ex-fiance is pregnant. So then he comes out and the producers are like, where's Paige? What happened? And she's back there in the bathroom and he's like, well, I told her she's processing, she's having her moment. And he goes out and he walks away. And so I was just like, then she comes out of the bathroom dressed and said, you know what, I just need some time. I gotta go. And she walks away, you know, they show the door shut. And then I'm just like, wait, I don't understand. I don't know what he told her and what method that he told her that he wanted to say privately off camera to try to, I don't know if he wanted to try to make it like feel better for her or to not embarrass the girl who is pregnant. I don't know what he said and why he didn't just say it on camera like you signed up for this, but okay. So Paige ends up going to talk to Brianna about the whole thing, and Brianna's being real supportive, you know, to her and saying like, well, what do you think you're gonna do? And oh my goodness, this is awful. And of course, Holy Ghost filled Paige is still dropping a whole bunch of S-bombs and F-bombs. Okay, girl, I don't care. You can do whatever you want to do, but you just going back and forth. I'm getting confused. But so then they show Chris telling Vincent. And so then they get back together, Vincent and Brianna, and they start talking about it. And they was like, man, she's saying, like, Brianna's saying, like, I told Paige I support what she does, but I hope she leaves. And so Vincent says the same thing, like, if it was me, I would be out of here, which you have no connection to this person other than these 3 days. So I'm trying to figure out myself, why is Paige so attached to this? And she keeps saying that, well, God won't put more on you than you can bear. Girl, first of all, if you want to break it down biblically, you have to be in the will of God for him to not put more on you than you can bear. So you are wanting us to accept that you being on this reality TV show and marrying a stranger was God's will for your life, and that is why you're bearing all of these things that you're finding out about this man. Okay, that's what you want us to believe. I think that there's something majorly wrong with her mental mind space that she actually believes that. You can't be so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good to where you're thinking all this biblical stuff and trying to apply it to something that practically makes absolutely no sense. So basically what he did confess is that they did break up in May, but that the ex-fiance's dad passed away, and even though they weren't on good terms, they had an intimate moment. I hope that's a true story. I hope he didn't make that part up as far as the dad passing away, but that leads me to believe that there's more to the story, because if you really broke off an engagement, I just don't see going back to sleep with that person. Like, that's a big deal. It's one thing if you boyfriend and girlfriend and you break up, but you were engaged and now you're no longer getting married and then you go back and sleep with them. That just doesn't make sense to me. I think that he never broke it off with her. That's what I think. I think that he didn't make a clean cut like he claimed for this show. But those are my thoughts. So one of the things that Paige said is from the beginning the chemistry was off, but she thought they were having a better start and things are moving forward. But girl, whatever your first instincts, that's usually the thing that you need to go with. There was no chemistry because he said he wasn't attracted to you. That would explain that. And that should have been when you kind of like pulled it in, not make moves, not jump in bed with him. I don't care what he says. And just watching him, you know, when they had the little dinner date, he was like, what would you do if this was decision day? And he said so much stuff to her to the point where I was like, girl, are you really believing this, Negro? Are you really believing all this stuff that he is saying? He's just saying the right biblical things, and then you just accept everything that he's done. The fact that he was just like, well, now that you my wife, it don't matter if I want to be with her or not, because you my wife come first before my mama, before this, before that. And I'm just like, you just wasn't attracted to her 2 days ago. So how she come first now? You didn't even know if you wanted to be with her. He was looking sad when they had a little meeting at the end with all the different couples talking. He was sitting there like a kid in the corner, like, I'm not attracted to my wife. My wife isn't like my wife isn't perfect. He was just looking all crazy and like, sad and pouting and walking away and going to another couch. I'm like, boy, grow up. First of all, you should have told the expert you wanted a red bone. Why did you not be specific and say, I only want a red bone? I know you don't want to be talked about on, and slammed, but at least you would have been attracted to your wife. It's okay to have your preference, but to say you're open and then you're not really open is not fair to this beautiful brown sister who was presented to you. So I'm just sick of Chris, and I'm sick of the way that Paige is accepting the manipulation that he is giving. She's just eating it all up. It's just sad. And I really don't like, as a Christian, that she is really coding all of this in biblical belief. It's disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting. And if they somehow make it, good for them, but don't put that as the standard of taking everything. God don't give you more than you can bear. I just don't like that. Okay. So, one other thing I have to say is that Paige said that God didn't put us on this earth to be alone. Well, numerically speaking, there are more women than men on this earth. Everybody's not going to get married. Even if everyone wanted to, there's not enough men. So that whole philosophy, everyone will not get married. End of story. Period, point blank. I understand that some people feel like they were not designed to be alone. I'm one of them. That's why I'm married. But that does not mean that everyone will get married. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just getting real upset. Like, this is my this is my life. It really irritates me. So, I still got a whole nother page about them. Okay, so I don't like how he greets her after all this stuff. He greets her with a kiss on the cheek. She also mentioned that Pastor Kyle said marriage is not for punks. Whenever they're, talking about different things, he says, what's on your mind, girl? And she's like, I'm gonna let you lead the conversation today. Then, the other part, I got a lot left, but I'm gonna just leave it alone. But one of the things that I thought was interesting is that Clara said that she thinks that Paige has Stockholm Syndrome. And I'm going to read you the definition of that. Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological response. It occurs when hostages or abuse victims bond with their captors or abusers. This psychological connection develops over the course of days, weeks, months, or even years of captivity or abuse. Do y'all think that Paige has Stockholm Syndrome? Or do you think she's just desperate for marriage? I don't know. Chris, when he had his little breakdown moment and ran off to the other couch, it's because he was comparing their marriage to the others, and he seemed so dissatisfied with the fact that everyone else basically said their woman was perfect, and he doesn't feel that way about Paige. He was trying to make it be about the baby and all that stuff, but I just think it was just the physical attraction part. Somebody had said at the table, well, attraction isn't the issue, it's all the other stuff. Chris got even more upset when they said that. I don't know who said it. I missed that part. And then when Eric was like, what's wrong? They was late. Eric and Virginia was late to the party. And Eric was like, what's wrong? And then they told them the information, and then Virginia's like, is that your baby? Do you even know if it's yours? Chris was so mad that she asked that, but I think that was a legit question. Like she said, if you weren't committed and serious with her no more, how do you know it's yours? Unless you know she was still being committed to you. Why would she still be committed to him? Because they're still actually together, and they were still actually together. Okay, so next, let's go to Claire and Ryan. Y'all, I'm already telling you, this video is gonna be longer than I want it to be, but it was just so much about them. Clara said she was so happy with her marriage, and that Ryan and her started talking about their schedules and their predictability in their life. And so Ryan is saying how he likes things structured and yada, yada, yada. And then Clara's like, well, she's a flight attendant. She's in and out. And she made a comment like, well, you can keep your structured life and I'll just come in and out of it, which to me, that's a red flag. Like, wait, what? So I don't think Ryan really likes it. I don't think he's voicing out loud, or either they're not showing it on camera, all the things that he does not like. They talked about kids, what their names were. They talked about kids going to church. She said she don't want to make her kids go to church. She wants them to be able to explore different religions, sexuality. I don't think Ryan agrees with any of that. I don't know if they're not showing him saying that, or is he really just being quiet and absorbing and like, okay, noted. I know I ain't gonna like that. Noted. I ain't gonna like that. Not sure. One thing she said, she was not sure. She did not feel like they were actually married. He asked about a heads up about her place. It seems like he is very particular in how he wants his house to be. He even said it himself. So Claire said something like, I'm not sure that you're ready for someone to move in with you because you've never done this before. I will say this. If someone is in love with you and they really want it to work, you don't have to be living together before you're married to be able to adjust and work with that. Now, I know this is a different circumstance because they weren't even dating before. They just went straight to marriage, and you could have learned someone's habits by visiting their place and stuff like that. But I do think that, yes, he shouldn't belittle the fact that it's going to be tough, but I also don't think how you live with someone is a total deal breaker. If you have two people who want to work it out, I don't see how it cannot be worked out just based on how somebody lives as far as their space and cleaning up. Like, if two people are willing to compromise, you can make it through that. I don't think that that's a deal breaker unless one person is not willing to compromise, which means they're not really, to me, being a good marriage partner to work things out. Clara also mentioned that she hopes her and Ryan will take it to the level as like Brianna and Vincent, and so hopefully they will get more physical, but Ryan seems really reserved, not sure how quick he's going to get to that. So Virginia and Eric. First of all, can I just say that Virginia said she was going to go to the pool, she's going to put on her makeup, and she wasn't going to get her hair wet. Is Virginia black? Because I thought that's what black girls do. If there's any white girls who are watching this video, can you please tell me, I thought only black chicks did that. Like, I mean, I can do it because I have sister locks. I did not know that there was white girls who went to the pool and was trying not to get their hair wet. That is news to me. Somebody dropped a comment and let me know, I thought that was a black girl thing. It's not? Somebody tell me. I don't know. So then, he was saying, oh, why are you doing it? Why are you doing this? Why are you putting on makeup? First of all, brother, we are on TV. I'm going to put on my little powder or whatever I need to make sure I look good on national television while they're recording me at the pool. It's not like it's just me and you going to the pool. Like, I'm on TV. So there's that. They also started talking about, her being late. And he was like, this is not how things are going to go. And I was just like, oh, okay. He seemed kind of controlling. Then they were at the pool. They were talking about how he was talking about how he thinks men and women cannot be friends. And the only way they can be is if, one, they are in a relationship with someone else who is your friend, or they are gay. I see what he's saying, but the way he presented it was awful. And it sounded very controlling. Virginia was very turned off by it. And he felt very daddish in that moment. And then he also shocked the heck out of me when he was like, you know, as a pilot, there's a certain lifestyle I live. I'm gone 15 days, but I'm here 15 days. You know, that's it. And he was saying it like, no, you're gone half the month. That's a lot. And he was like, you know, if someone can't handle it, then, you know, we're just done because there's no need to waste each other's time. Okay, first of all, why, Eric, did you sign up for Married at First Sight to marry someone who would not know your lifestyle and not know how tough it can be to be with someone who's gone half the month, and then have the nerve to say if someone's not here for it, then they can, you know, it's done, we done. Why'd you sign up for this? That's not even fair, because you should have married someone who knew exactly what they were getting themselves into and chose to be in that lifestyle. That is tough to say for anyone, but especially for someone who's like 26 and wasn't even sure they even really wanted to get married. Then you're gonna be gone half the month. That is trouble waiting to happen. His whole demeanor, his aggressive, jealous, and kind of daddish way he was talking to her was like very ill. I was just like, I don't think Virginia was feeling that. And she said she couldn't lie if she could not lie and act like she wasn't concerned about that. Whew. Okay. Brianna and Vincent, they mentioned that they took their relationship to the next level, which is wonderful. I'm happy for them. They were like, you know, playing footsie underneath the table on the beach. He carried her from the beach to the table, which was very cute. They just started talking about how they connected because, you know, his grandmother, and he felt safe with her. It's like he wanted to talk about how, like, why they made it to physical connection. She was just like, yes, we made it. So I hope that's not a signal like maybe he liked it more than she did. I don't know. Hopefully it was great. She seemed to be smiling and happy the whole time. So I hope they enjoyed each other and that they keep growing. I'm rooting for them because they seem like they could work out. One thing that was another little flag that I said about her and her I know it all thing was that he was like, hey, you want to live in a condo or a townhome first? And he was like, well, townhome, you get more bang for your buck. And she was like, well, what if I want to live in a condo? And then he's like, oh, I remember your family said you was bossy. And then she's like, well, you know, basically it is what it is. So he was like, well, we can live in a condo first, and then as our family expands, we could go to a townhome. And she was like, family expands, that's talking too much about the future. We only known each other for a few days, yada, yada, yada. But I'm like, okay, I feel like it's natural to talk about that, especially after you've been intimate. So that was just kind of weird that she was really like, oh, that's off limits. That's too much talking. That was weird to me. Let's see. The only person left is Jacob and Haley. Okay, so I was like, oh, okay. Jacob and Haley, they were making some progression. They were at their dinner with the sharks, and they were talking and looking happy and looking in each other's eyes and stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe there's some hope. Maybe Haley is coming, breaking her wall down. Let's see. Jacob asked her some weird stuff, like if she ever ate a raw onion. Like, who talks? That's just weird. They were talking about checking out the gym. Of course, you know, he said he has a Star Wars themed kettlebell. Then she said she ain't never watched Star Wars before. And he was like, well, I'm not really into it like that. She's like, but you have a Star Wars kettlebell. Clearly you're into it a little bit. So he just has all this little weird stuff that she says she keeps finding out. Then he asked her a question about the straw. Does the straw have 2 holes or 1? She said, I'm gonna say 1. He said he gonna say 2 because he likes to think his butt and his mouth are 2 different holes. Ha ha, nerd joke. Wasn't funny, just weird. So she just said that with all these quirks, she's trying to be patient and feel it out. He mentioned that the craziest thing he ever had done was ran around on a beach in a pink thong. She didn't seem fazed by that. I thought that was pretty weird. But he's weird, so maybe that's why she was like, oh, okay, pink thong, huh? Okay, nothing more different than all these graphic tees in a Star Wars kettlebell. But one thing she did say at the little dinner thing at the very end is that their families couldn't have gotten along any better. Like, she made it seem like their families was like, ooh, close, making it work. But to me, it really seemed like her family was looking at him like they weren't interested. And I must have missed the part where they looked really close. Maybe they didn't show that part. Maybe they edited it out. I don't know. I know with reality TV, you just film for hours and hours and hours, and you only use a certain amount of footage. But hey y'all, that's all I got for this week. Sorry this video is so long. Hope you keep watching. Subscribe, thumbs up, and leave me some stuff in the comments. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, and let's keep popping, and I'll see y'all next week.